On Wales at 6, it's been dubbed the worst ever tragedy to hit the NHS.
He was a guinea pig, as far as I'm concerned, and I want to know why they pumped all that poison into his body.
Colin was just 7 when he died after being given infected blood. Now his family is one of thousands wanting to know the truth from a public inquiry. Good evening. It's been described as the worst ever tragedy to hit the NHS, and today was a day families who lost loved ones in the contaminated blood scandal have long been waiting for, with the opening of a full public inquiry. More than 2,400 people died after blood products infected with hepatitis and HIV were given in the 70s and 80s. One family from Newport who lost their son when he was just 7 told ITV News they hope the inquiry can give them answers they so desperately need. With tonight's top story, Alexandra Hartley reports from London.
Well, today has been a very long and a very emotional day for those at the inquiry. After decades of campaigning, both the victims and the families of those affected feel that they have finally had their voices heard. The day began with tributes, and we heard testaments from people who feel parts of their lives have been robbed from them. They say they have lost dreams, they have lost dignity, livelihoods and sanity. There were emotions of anger, of distress, of confusion, but also of hope. Hope that this inquiry will finally bring the truth and deliver justice.
I had multiple blood transfusions, 19 of them. One of them contained the Hep C virus.
It was found out that I had Hep C through the infected transfusion. And I had to go home to my mother and sit down with Graham and tell him at 15 that he got HIV.
Thousands have died, thousands more have been affected in what's been described as the greatest tragedy of the NHS. And along with hundreds of others, Jan from Newport is here to find out why her son died when he was just 7 years old in 1990.
More than anything, I need to know why. Why did they use Colin like they did? You know, he was a guinea pig, as far as I'm concerned, and I want to know why they pumped all that poison into his body without even telling us.
Colin, like many other victims, had haemophilia, a condition that means his blood couldn't clot. Instead of healing him, he was given contaminated blood products that eventually killed him. Who do you blame for that?
Hospitals, government, hiding stuff. You know, politicians, it's just all been hidden, swept under the carpet. I think they thought, you know, they'd carry on like this, all the haemophiliacs would just die out, so there's no explaining to do. It hasn't worked out like that.
Most of the contaminated blood came from America in the 1970s and 80s, where donors were paid to give blood, including prisoners and drug addicts. Potentially fatal hepatitis C infected almost 5,000 people, and more than 1,000 patients were infected with HIV. In total, it's led to more than 2,400 deaths. Opening the inquiry, the chairman, Sir Brian Langstaff, said he will put people at the very heart of his investigation. He says he will investigate cover-ups and he will hold people to account. But he also warned there may be many thousands more out there who do not realise they have been affected too. In a statement, the UK government says it's extremely important that all those that have suffered get the answers they have spent decades waiting for, and lessons can be learnt so a tragedy of this scale can never happen again.
It means that finally it is hoped that the victims will find answers to the questions which they've been asking for those 30 or 40 years. It's been a long, long struggle, and they do believe that now is the time when those answers will be provided.
Jan and others know this scandal should never have happened. But there's finally hope they will discover why and how it did. People will still face a long wait for answers. This inquiry could take 2.5 years to complete, and there are hundreds of thousands of documents to sift through. And if anyone is found culpable, then there could be large payouts and compensation. But for Jan Smith and many other people here today, they just want answers. They want to know why and how this happened. They want the truth and they want justice.